Mexico City is currently facing a catastrophic day zero scenario right now. Residents are waiting in long lines for water trucks that never arrive. The Cutzamala Reservoir system has dropped to its lowest level in history. Taps in the capital of Mexico are running dry for millions daily. In Uruguay, the government was forced to mix salt water into the supply. People in Montevideo are drinking brackish water that tastes of the ocean. In the United States, a saltwater wedge threatens New Orleans' drinking water. The mighty Mississippi River is losing the strength to push back the sea. The Panama Canal is drying up, stalling global trade and supply chains. Massive cargo ships are stuck at anchor because the locks lack water. NASA satellites reveal that global aquifers are being drained much too rapidly. The invisible underground oceans we rely on are vanishing faster than they refill. We have treated this finite resource as if it were infinite forever. Now, the era of cheap and abundant water is officially ending today. The next global conflict will not be fought for oil or gold. World War III will be fought for a simple glass of fresh water. We begin our journey at the ancient cradle of civilization, the Nile. For 5,000 years, Egypt has depended entirely on this single river. But upstream, Ethiopia is building the grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project. This concrete leviathan gives Ethiopia control over the Nile's entire flow. Cairo views this dam as an immediate existential national security threat. If Ethiopia fills the reservoir too fast, Egypt goes completely dry. Diplomacy is failing, and the drums of war are beating very loudly. But the Nile is just one flashpoint in a global water crisis. Look at the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in the volatile Middle East. Turkey controls the headwaters and is throttling the flow to Iraq. Once the Garden of Eden, Iraq is turning into a salty dust bowl. Marshlands that sustained civilization for millennia are now barren, sandy deserts. The situation is even more dangerous in the high Himalayas of Asia. The Tibetan Plateau is the water tower of the entire Asian continent. It feeds the Yellow River, the Yangtze, the Mekong, and Brahmaputra. China effectively controls the tap for 2 billion thirsty people downstream. India and China are already clashing on their high-altitude border. Beijing plans a megadam on the Brahmaputra, threatening India's water supply. Downstream, Bangladesh faces a catastrophic loss of vital fresh water flows. These are nuclear-armed neighbors, fighting over the absolute essence of life. Food security is intimately tied to this fragile hydrological stability. No water means no crops, which means mass global starvation events. Starvation leads to migration, destabilizing borders across the entire globe. The Mekong Delta is also dying a slow, salty, painful death. Chinese dams upstream hold back nutrient-rich silt and vital water flows. Fisheries collapse, destroying the livelihoods of millions in Southeast Asia. Do not think this is only a problem for developing nations. The American West is facing a megadrought of biblical proportions today. Lake Mead and Lake Powell are approaching dangerous dead pool status. If they hit dead pool, water stops flowing past the dam. Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Los Angeles would face immediate catastrophic failure. California farmers are bulldozing almond trees to save precious water reserves. The era of green lawns in the desert is officially over. The Colorado River no longer reaches the sea in Mexico anymore. States are already fighting legal battles over every single remaining drop. Internal conflict within the US is becoming a real, terrifying possibility. While nations fight, Wall Street sees a massive profit opportunity ahead. Water is being financialized, traded like oil or gold futures contracts. Global banks are buying up water rights and aquifers worldwide aggressively. They call it blue gold, the ultimate asset of the century. Public springs are being privatized and fenced off by large corporations. The fundamental human right to water is becoming a subscription service. The Guarani Aquifer in South America is a prime corporate target. Multinationals are maneuvering to secure access to this liquid underground treasure. When water prices spike, governments fall and cities burn to ash. History shows that thirst is a more potent trigger than hunger. Let us return to the most water-stressed region, the Middle East. The Jordan River is a shadow of its former biblical self. Israel has turned to technology, building massive desalination plants on coasts. They engineer fresh water from the sea, solving their domestic crisis. But their neighbors in the West Bank still face chronic shortages. Iran is facing a hydrological bankruptcy due to decades of mismanagement. Groundwater pumping causes the land to sink, swallowing entire city buildings. Water riots have already broken out in Isfahan and Khuzestan provinces. The regime responds with violence, but bullets cannot create fresh rain. This desperation leads to the terrifying science of weather warfare technology. Nations are investing in cloud seeding technology to steal rain clouds. China has a massive program to control the weather over cities. If one nation makes it rain, they steal moisture from another. Rain theft could be the casus belli for the next war. Pollution further reduces the tiny amount of water we have left. Microplastics and pharmaceuticals are contaminating the water supply globally and silently. We are drinking the chemical runoff of our own industrial civilization. Waterborne diseases remain the leading killer of children worldwide even today. We treat our rivers as sewers rather than sacred life arteries. Eutrophication creates dead zones where no life can possibly survive anymore. Even the water-rich Great Lakes are under constant threat from pollution. Pipelines and agricultural runoff threaten the world's largest surface freshwater system. Plans have been proposed to ship Great Lakes water to Asia. A future war could see nations trying to seize these lakes. So, what is the solution to this existential global water crisis? We must embrace radical efficiency and total water recycling immediately. Singapore drinks recycled wastewater, efficiently branding it as NE water for citizens. Agriculture must shift from flood irrigation to precision drip systems now. Vertical farming uses 90% less water than traditional farming methods. Desalination must be powered by renewable energy to be truly sustainable. Nuclear energy can provide the massive power needed to desalinate oceans. Diplomacy must evolve to manage transboundary river basins fairly and peacefully. We need total transparency on who is using the water reserves. Individual conservation is important, but systemic change is vital for survival. We must stop growing water-intensive crops in arid deserts immediately. Fast fashion consumes billions of gallons of water every single year. The meat industry is one of the largest consumers of water. Dietary shifts could save more water than any shorter shower could. Restoring forests helps to recharge the underground aquifers naturally and slowly. Nature has its own engineers that we should learn from today. Protecting wetlands acts as a sponge for dry periods and droughts. Undamming rivers allows ecosystems to heal and water to naturally filter. The alternative is a descent into chaos and barbarism for everyone. A world where warlords control the wells and the innocent die. Water is life, and life is worth fighting for right now. Innovation is our only hope against the drying of the world. New materials like graphene could revolutionize desalination costs in the future. Low-tech solutions can also save remote communities from thirst today. Water sovereignty must be returned to the local people and communities. We cannot let the source of life be owned by monopolies. The legal framework of water rights must be rewritten entirely now. Rivers are being granted legal personhood in some countries like New Zealand. If the river has rights, it cannot be killed for profit. We share one hydrological cycle, one atmosphere, and one fragile planet. Rain does not respect the artificial borders drawn by men on maps. The Amazon creates the flying rivers that water South America's crops. Cutting the rainforest dries out the breadbasket of the entire continent. Short-term profit destroys the long-term climate stability we need. We are terraforming Earth into Mars by our own collective ignorance. Mars once had water, now it is a dead red rock. We must teach the next generation the absolute value of water. It is not a commodity, it is a sacred trust to protect. We share this resource with every other living creature on Earth. Freshwater species are going extinct faster than any others right now. They are the canaries in the coal mine of our ecosystem. We are entering a bottleneck in human history that defines us. If we fight over the water, we all sink together eventually. If we cooperate, there is enough for everyone's need, not greed. But there is not enough for everyone's greed to be satisfied. We must choose what is truly valuable to us right now. You cannot drink a diamond when you are dying of thirst. The mirage of abundance has faded away forever into the past. The reality of scarcity is staring us in the face today. We need armies of engineers, not armies of soldiers fighting wars. Water diplomacy is the most urgent field of the coming century. We are the custodians of the only water in the universe. It is a fragile miracle that we must protect at all costs. I am the monetary cartographer, and I chart the flows of capital. I chart the flows of the resources that truly matter most. Economic value means nothing without biological survival of the human species. Secure your water, secure your future before it is too late. Resilience begins at home, with your own preparation and foresight. Capture what falls from the sky. Do not let it waste. Learn how to purify what you find in the environment around you. Organize with your neighbors before the crisis hits your own town. Do not wait until the tap runs dry to start acting. The time to act is now, not tomorrow but today. Every drop counts in the fight for our collective survival. One action creates a wave of change that can save us. Be the wave that changes the future for the better. Imagine a world where the rivers run clean and free again. To water, the source of all life in our future. We watch, we map, we warn, and we prepare you. Keep your eyes open to the changes in the environment. Navigate the scarcity with wisdom and foresight, not fear. Nature is resilient, but we must stop attacking its foundations. Plant the seeds of restoration for the generations to come. The ocean is vast, but salt water cannot quench our thirst. Technology is a tool, but wisdom is the true guide. We need leadership that understands the physics of survival. We need a movement that demands the protection of water. We need science that serves the public good, not profit. We need education that connects us to the land we live on. We need agriculture that works with nature, not against it. We need cities that breathe and drink like living organisms. It all starts with a single drop of awareness. Subscribe to understand the map of the future. This is our home. Let us keep it blue. This concludes our urgent transmission regarding the future of global water security.